This series is called The Return. A quasi-view of the coming kingdom of Christ on earth, based on biblical facts. Chapter 2. Love thy neighbor. You could spend hours pondering the glory of God that covers the earth, but one of your neighbors comes over, who happens to be Stephen, the martyr, and you strike up a conversation with him asking him for his real-life account of what happened the day he was stoned. You and he sit for hours talking about it, then he asks you what it was like for yourself during the last millennium, and you notice that he is just as marveled by your story as well. You both realize that it's time to depart, when he tells you that he and some friends, all of whom you've already met, are getting together at his house later for a cookout, and he invites you to come over and join them. You ask him who else will be there, and he says, well, let's see, Jonah, Jephthah, and Gideon are planning on coming. Aaron said he would come, but he has priestly duties to attend. But who else? Oh yeah, Ruth, Hannah, and Abishag will be there. You should come, we will have a blast. We're going to be sitting outside having a cookout, and you could bring someone or something if you like. You agree to go, then give him a brotherly hug, escort him to the door, bidding him farewell. Afterward, you are thinking about the cookout and what to bring, so you get yourself ready to go to the store to pick up a few items. You go outside and climb inside what looks like a regular car, but this car runs on an engine that is a totally new technology that requires no gasoline, no solar power, and no batteries at all. As you sit in the car, you think about one of the perks that came with your new body, how you could just use your mind to think of where you want to be, and appear there at once. But you decide to drive instead, not wanting to miss the stunningly beautiful scenery that God's new creation now has to offer. On your way, you pass by several houses with neighbors that you feel like you have always known. You drive down streets that are lined with the most beautiful trees and shrubbery, some of which are brand new to the earth. You finally arrive at what used to be a local Walmart store that's been renamed with different signage on it. Inside the store, you see individual immortals and mortal couples with their families shopping. All the food, including meats, fruits, and vegetables, are always fresh and stay that way until consumed. You can't decide if you want to take some fresh fish, chicken, or lamb to the cookout, but you settle on the fresh fish. You notice that there is a great selection of New Kingdom wines, but no beer or hard alcoholic beverages. People drink as much of the New Kingdom wine as they want, with no effect of drunkenness, but instead, it gives one an even greater sense of thankfulness and love for God and Christ. You don't see any cigarettes or smoking products, or any medications, or a pharmacy. You do see electronic devices, and a new device, like what used to be a television, but used for communicating, with very unique functions. You see baby products, and children's toys. You see no clothing, because all clothing is tailor-made and provided by specific sources. You decide to grab some snacks as well, and you notice snack products like the ones prior to the new millennium. All the food in the New Kingdom is healthy, besides, no one gains weight or ever gets sick. In fact, there are no hospitals, military, police stations, lawyers' offices, gas stations, prisons, or security systems. You arrive back at your house, and have exactly 2 hours before the cookout begins. You then get an incoming mental communication, from a many times over, great-grandfather who was born somewhere in the Middle East in AD 120, that would like to see you, but he lives 8,000 miles away. You tell him that you will be right over, and at the speed of thought, you appear at his front door. He opens the door, and with that repeated look of amazement, he gives you a big hug, and tells you that he can't believe that you and he literally look like twins, now that you both appear to be around 30 years old. During your not-so-brief visit, you talk a lot about the day you both received Christ, and you tell him how many times you've often wondered if there was anyone in the family tree from millennia past that looked like you, and looking at him, you now know. You both chuckle as he makes a remark about how strong the gene pool must be, when you notice that you only have about 20 minutes before going to Stephen's cookout. You invite him to come, but he declines, because he's been invited somewhere else. Again, he smiles, gives you that distinguished look, just before you head toward the door, when he stops you, gives you one more hug, and tells you that you can depart where you stand. You both wave goodbye, and then you simply vanish. Please subscribe and click on the bell to get notified for Chapter 3, called The Cookout.